Kubrat Pulev of Bulgaria looking to upset apple cart later tonight against Anthony Joshua. Our guest is ready, and Austin is ready. Okay, Austin is like, Austin, good morning. It's great to have you on the show. Good morning as well to Bukhari. Good morning, guys. You're excited as me?
Good morning, Tyre. Good morning, Cecilia. Good to be on the show.
Yeah.
Cecilia, thank you for reminding Tyre that I'm not a guest.
Exactly. He hasn't seen you for a while.
When was the last time you came on Sport this morning? Anyways, good morning, Bukhari as well. Too. Good morning. It's great to
I
have
understand that I'm always on sports tonight, but
all right then, Austin. Bukhari, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Good morning, everyone.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Finally, are you excited as I am for the return of AJ tonight against Kubrat Pulev?
I think that we're all very, very excited. Like you rightfully said, the Bulgarian fighter Kubrat Pulev was injured, so he couldn't fight for some time. COVID also had a play in it as well. That being said, it's going to be a fantastic fight. I don't know if you've seen both of them do their workouts and the way their bodies look and everything like that, but they both look like they've been heavily in the ring, especially AJ. AJ's also changed the way that he's doing things, less of the gym, more of the ring. Like he said, he's ready for 50 rounds and not 12. Then again, we shouldn't take for granted that the Bulgarian fighter Kubrat Pulev is a very, very dangerous fighter. Forget his age. He's still a fantastic fighter. You saw his public workout. He was doing very, very well.
Looks great. Yeah, you're spot on. Austin, you're in London. I mean, what is the feeling like there? What is the atmosphere like? Is there a lot of excitement in the air? Boxing fans looking forward to seeing AJ get back in the ring.
absolutely, Tyre. It's nothing but love for AJ right here in London. I told you when Mayweather announced his fight with Logan, a lot of boxing followers in the UK was like, that's child play compared to what is going to happen between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev.
Okay.
1,000 fans will be allowed into the arena in Wembley. Trust me, Tyre, 90.9% will be shouting for AJ. He's got everything on the line in that fight, all his belts he will be bringing out. And we know the quality of Kubrat. I love the fact that Anthony Joshua is looking calm. Listen to a recent interview he granted. Looks like a proper athlete. I think he's lost some weight. He realized that there's need for him to be agile. I'm sure he got that from the fight with
losing
Andy
to
Ruiz. He understands now that he needs to do a lot of movement, and be stable. So he looks like a proper athlete. I like that. He's got an organized team. And so they're doing everything to ensure that he still stays the champ. So in London, the mood is all for Anthony Joshua. And I love the fact that he reminded us how well he knows this fighter called Kubrat Pulev. He said he was in Vladimir Klitschko camp in 2014 when he was ready to fight Pulev. And so he's been following that guy. They were supposed to fight in 2017. Injury to Pulev didn't make it happen. This fight we're having now was supposed to come in June this year. Coronavirus didn't let it happen. We're pretty happy that we have a chance to see these two fighters go against themselves.
Yeah, Austin. Both athletes, both boxers, have actually had just one defeat. They won Anthony Joshua to Andy Ruiz, and of course Vladimir Klitschko. That's talking about Kubrat Pulev. That was Pulev. That was 2014. These guys have just won loss and all that. What should we expect to see, tomorrow night?
We're going to see fireworks, no doubt. Many has reminded us that don't look at the age of Kubrat Pulev. I think he's still a dangerous fighter. He's known as the Cobra. He will bite you when you least expect. And the record tells it 29 fights, just one loss, no draw. It tells you that this is a decent fighter. And if Anthony Joshua should blink, it's going to be a very sad night for him. The good thing about this fight is that there's no more room for complacency from the part of Anthony Joshua. True. Andy Ruiz came with a lot of lessons, and like never before, he knows that the heavyweight division is very, very competitive now. For you to be relevant, you need to be winning. So let's just see. Let's see what they can give us. I like the fact that they are both good fighters, and they'll come out and give us a professional fight.
Yeah, of course, it's heavyweight boxing, and it's surely fireworks is waiting for us tomorrow at Wembley. Austin, Bukhari, let's just go through the tale of the tape of both boxers. Gives us a better picture of what is likely to go down tomorrow. Anthony Joshua, of course, we all know is from, he's 31 to 39. Usually you'd say boxing is a young man's game, so perhaps Anthony Joshua has got the edge in that department. In terms of their height, Anthony Joshua, of course, is the taller guy. He's got the advantage 2 inches over Kubrat Pulev. The reach as well, too, is in favor of Anthony Joshua. Their records, Anthony Joshua 23-1, while Kubrat Pulev has lost just 1 in 29 bouts. The KO percentage is definitely in favor of Anthony Joshua, 21 compared to 14, while for the rounds, Anthony Joshua has fought lesser rounds because it gets to knock out his opponents out pretty fast, and the stance is orthodox, and of course we know the nickname. Based on the tale of the tape, Bukhari, it looks like it's a straightforward win for Anthony Joshua. He's got all the advantages. Physically,
I mean,
as well.
he is the favorite. He is the favorite. He's always been the favorite. But then again, being heavyweight boxing, if you had Kubrat Pulev, he said he's not going for the knockout. It means that he's going fully in there with strategy. I would say more towards Anthony Joshua, but still maybe 50-50 kind of. I would say that we should just look out for the better man to win, to be quite honest.
You're sitting on the fence, man. Come on. Bukhari.
He's not really coming out to say anything, right?
Come on, man.
Because, I mean, if you listen to Bob Arum, that's the promoter of Pulev, I mean, it's natural because he's the promoter. He's talked about the fact that he has spoken with the likes of Tyson Fury and even Mike Tyson. Most of them are actually in favor of, Pulev winning this bout. What can Joshua really do differently? I mean, you and Austin have agreed that, look, he's looking leaner, he's looking fitter. Even the leanness he's been, for a while now, especially going into the bout against Andy Ruiz.
Anthony Joshua, like you can see, is lean and he's most probably a lot faster. I think he should focus more on skill, stamina, tactic, more boxing skills, I would say. Less of the power punch, unless he feels that, that he's really, really outdoing Kubrat Pulev, then yeah, he can go for the power punch.
Okay, interesting. He's still not sticking out his neck on that. But then...
he's heavyweight boxing.
He's heavyweight.
Yeah.
It's all about power punch. Bukhari, we need to go on a short break. Austin also, after this break, we'll get back to you guys. Okay, we still have Bukhari Kameni and also Austin, joining us this morning. Austin, I'll go to you straight. I mean, you mentioned earlier that, look, Anthony Joshua is looking fitter and leaner and all that. I mean, today is going to be the way in. Are we going to be a heavier, is he going to put up some muscles? And that's the point I need to make. He's going to put up some muscles, maybe heavier a little bit than he was when he fought Andy Ruiz.
Yes, Cecilia, I believe Anthony Joshua is going to put on a little bit of weight compared to what we saw against Andy Ruiz. And that's because he might just want to, get a little bit of tactics, different from what we saw against Ruiz. But I think he's going to keep his athletic shape that we have seen. I also see that his team have been, giving emphasis to agility and movement around that ring. And we saw it a lot against Ruiz. He was very strategic, drops the jabs and then goes back to position, turns left, turns right, drops another jab, He might want to go for the knockout against Pulev if he starts very well. I'd say Anthony Joshua from round 5 or 6, just wrapping this up because he's going to, wear and tear his opponents easily if he starts very well. And that's the quality we've seen from Anthony Joshua. So let's just hope that the experiences from previous fight, I think if he deploys the tactics we saw against Joseph Parker and a little bit of what we saw against Carlos Takam, he can come good against Pulev in that fight.
So, Austin, what you're saying is you seem to be saying that AJ should be cautious in his approach so he doesn't get caught. You know, it's heavyweight boxing, one shot, and it could be lights out, right?
That's what it is, Tyler. You know, heavyweight boxing, and that's what the Bulgarian will be banking on. He will just be waiting for when Anthony Joshua will blink. And that's why right here, people will love for Anthony Joshua was saying no room for complacency, because they would go back to that Andy Ruiz tape and then watch it properly. You know, and against this guy who is so decent, Pulev has lost just one fight. And Tayo, while you read the tail of the tape, everything seemed to look good for Anthony Joshua except experience. And in heavyweight boxing, that counts a lot. Pulev has got better experience in terms of rounds in the ring and, of course, fights. So he would want to use that to his advantage. I'm sure that's what his corner will be telling him. You know, pick the jab 1-2, and then get some rest so this guy doesn't wear you out. Anthony Joshua will also, you know, get very strategic and tactical. And everything will come all out when we see what is going to weigh today, whether he's going to take the approach that we saw against Andy Ruiz, or just go out there and get some fantastic fight as we saw against Klitschko.
Against Klitschko, you mentioned Klitschko. Interestingly, AJ destroyed Klitschko. Kubrat Pulev, in his prime, got knocked out by Vlad. Bukhari, let's look at both fighters in terms of their losses. AJ losing to Andy Ruiz. Do you see any kind of similarities between Andy Ruiz and Kubrat Pulev that perhaps might be a disadvantage for AJ?
Yes, the disadvantage is that, as you can see, that both of them are very, very technical. I would say that Pulev is more technical than Andy Ruiz. But during the time of Andy Ruiz, I believe that AJ overlooked a lot of things, which he's not going to overlook in this fight. And I think that AJ has really, really gone into detail about the way that Kubrat Pulev fights, more so because of the Klitschko camp that he was in when Klitschko was about to fight him. So I think he's got a lot of knowledge about the way Kubrat Pulev fights. And I think he's a lot better prepared. I think as long as he just stays technical, stays fast, stays alert, I think that, you know, he shouldn't really have a disadvantage.
Okay,
all right,
interesting. I mean, you're still not trying to stick out your neck on who is going to have the fight tomorrow, because that's what we've been asking, trying to, I mean, from your analysis.
You can force
I think
it out
from your analysis, okay. From your analysis, okay. Okay, AJ is favorite, yes. I know, that's what you said. That's what you and Austin said. But AJ is favorite to win the bout. But who
it's different from
AJ will win the bout. So favorites to win, and he's going to win. Sticking out your neck, just putting your ring, your heart in the ring and all that, just saying, this is it. This is the person who is going to take it. And how many rounds will it go to? And if it's going to be in favor of AJ or Pulev.
So
okay, the only thing I can really say is, sorry, Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go on.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is that AJ does very well, performs very, very well, tires out Kubrat Pulev. I think 6 to 7 rounds AJ could win, but he has to be good from the onset.
Okay, interesting. And Austin said that before. So Austin, parting shot from you, AJ or
so juicy, with juicy analysis, it favors AJ. Look at the people AJ. If AJ can beat Povetkin, if he can beat Dillian White, if he can beat Joseph Parker, you know, knock out Vladimir Klitschko, then he has no excuse against Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev is a good boxer. He's technical, but aside his win over Derek Chisora, which was contentious, and maybe Hughie Fury, who's not had much from him, but he's a good fighter. It doesn't take anything away from him. So any day, anytime, the bookmakers will favor Anthony Joshua just because he loves Nigeria so much. I'll stand by Anthony Joshua also. But hey, this is boxing. We can only do the analysis and let boxing. Do you know how much I came out to say Anthony Joshua was going to run over Andy Ruiz?
Yes.
And then we got the shock of our lives.
Shocker.
So it's difficult to say these things with heavyweight boxing. But before I go, guys, let's not forget that we've got some interesting undercard in that fight between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. Lawrence Okoli will be fighting. I remember Lawrence Okoli. He's got some prospects in the cruiserweight, division, and he'll be taking on Jawiski, So it's an opportunity for us to see someone who champs at the beats of Nigeria, go out there. Tyson Fury's brother, Yuri Fury, who has also fought Pulev and lost, will also be part of the undercard in the heavyweight contest. So it's not just a fight for Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. It's an opportunity for us to see some boxers come up the ranks.
Exactly. You're spot on. For Lawrence is getting closer to a world title shot in the cruiserweight division. I wish him all the best later tomorrow as well. So Austin, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Bukari as well too. Thank you. Hopefully we're celebrating Anthony Joshua's victory tomorrow in London. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there you go there. Our guests and our correspondents are all tipping Anthony Joshua to win.
The Channels 24 app means you'll always be in touch with the news. Get the latest local and international stories on the go. And there's our social media platforms for news from around the world. Watch the news live and play videos that matter to you. You can also check the Eyewitness section to report events around you. Just click on the Eyewitness icon and follow the instructions to upload your content. Channels 24 app, the news at your fingertips.
You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Y'all can be a part of the show as well too by tweeting at channels_sport. We're doing a preview of Anthony Joshua's fight against Kubrat Pulev tomorrow. Tell us what do you think is going to happen in that bout. Are we going to see an upset or is going to go according to script? You can send your tweets to us at channels_sport. And we have a couple already. I'll be taking them later, but that's after I introduce our guest who happens to be a big fan of Anthony Joshua. I mean, who's not a big fan of Anthony Joshua in Nigeria? Ben Elia, editor-in-chief of Sports Day newspapers. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, great to be around you guys after some time now. Yeah. It's good that Anthony Joshua is fighting this week that I'm returning.
Exactly.
Okay, it's a good one.
Perfect.
Good to see you.
Return indeed. Should we take a couple of tweets before we get the thoughts of Anthony, Ben? Okay, Ben, the tweets are coming in, and expectedly, a lot of them are in favor of AJ winning tomorrow. Bolarinwa, you're saying, after the first fight against Andy Ruiz, everyone thinks they can beat AJ. AJ must be careful and tactical. All the best to AJ tomorrow. Chimobi Victor, you're saying, good morning, guys. Good morning to you as well. So from what AJ has done in the past, I see him winning this fight, but he must be very careful and remain focused as well. So everyone is talking about being careful.
Yeah,
I understand this heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
This heavyweight boxing, anything can happen.
Yeah.
However, AJ has revealed that he's been training very hard. Eddie Hearns, his manager, said he's too sure of AJ. And AJ from the Andy Ruiz fight, which he shockingly lost before he went back to collect his titles back from the same guy, because he was smart enough also to sign a clause that says there can be a rematch.
Yeah.
That's how he was able to, So I think that should have taught him a lesson. I mean,
never to underestimate.
Never to underestimate. Ruiz is a big fighter. He's huge. He's massive. His punches could be hard. But AJ is the world champion in 3 or 4 categories, and it is not easy. And so we should give it to AJ, but it will not come easy. To knock Pulev out will be a bit of a task.
And that's why AJ talked a lot about going 12 rounds. He's ready to go to the final bell.
Yeah, he has to be tactical. Be tactical, score your points.
Box. Swift.
Yeah.
Don't do toe-to-toe with him. If you do toe-to-toe, Pulev will take it, because if he gets you caught in one angle, you are down.
It's heavyweight, heavy punch.
It's a heavy punch. So those type of boxers, like he did in the second fight against Ruiz, he didn't do toe-to-toe with him. It was just scoring points, and he took the fight. He didn't want to, okay, let's go all the 12 rounds, if that is what you want. And he wanted it, and he got it.
Exactly
So that is what I think the tactics of his corner should adopt and say, AJ, if you get the opportunity to knock him out, but the game plan should be score your points, win the rounds.
And they should stick to it.
Yeah, and stick to it. Stay smart.
All right, we hope to see Slicky AJ tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, Slicky AJ, Slicky like Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, he was looking very fit during the weigh-in. He was
Yeah,
looking very, very. He looked,
Yeah, I've
he
seen
looked
his
very fit.
workouts.
You've seen his workouts
Yeah.
and everything, the presser and all that. So it's looking so
We'll get a better
sleek,
picture tonight.
athletic, and
Yeah.
not packing muscles and all like that.
We'll see
Okay.
tonight though, when they do the weigh. Ibrahim Suleiman, your
That should be the
last
last tweet,
tweet
yeah.
before we move on with the show. Still so lot to talk about. You're saying the match is going to be very tough, but I'm sure AJ is the favorite to win. It's obviously It's obvious that the Bulgarian cannot beat AJ. AJ is young as well, so these are the things that we've talked about AJ having the advantage over Kubrat Pulev. All the best to Anthony Olufemi Joshua tomorrow at the Wembley Arena against Kubrat Pulev. Hopefully, it's going to be and still at the end of 12 rounds or perhaps 5-6 rounds.
And still.
Let's move on. Not anew.
The big fight we're all waiting for is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
That
Let
is
him
where
get this job
we are
done
thinking
first
of.
of all.
But
Get
you
this
have
out
to
of the way.
Get this out
We'll
of
be
the way
thinking
and then
about
get
that. And
prepared.
Fury and Wilder should settle their
scores.
scores, and then we'll know that
Let's
there's
get
one
on with the
remaining.
show,
Let's go on with the show. Go to Nigerian
Premier League.
Nigerian Premier League,
That we
Nigerian
don't know when
Football
it's
League.
starting.
That we don't know when it started. But then clubs are preparing and all that. Nasarawa United are preparing because they know that, yes, with what happened to some of the clubs on the continent and all that, you have to get ready
gotta
for
stay
the
ready.
season. And this is one of the clubs that actually sent a message out to everyone that Kano Pillars were not ready for the continent. That 5-0 thrashing and all that wasn't easy. But the coach, Balaniki, is talking this morning that, look, they're ready for the new season. They've been training. Even if LMC will have to call and say, look, the league will start
Whenever
tomorrow.
the date
Whenever
is-
the date is
we're good
ready,
to go.
they will be ready. Let's hear from...
Two-time governor.
As you can see, we are preparing. For now, we are ready. We just need, maybe within the few days, play 1-2 friendly matches and we'll go into the league. Playing poorly in the last season was part of football. And at times, that one help you to prepare more. I think we are ready for this season.
We want to play in the continent, and we are ready. You can see with the matches we played, we beat the like of Kano Pillars, even though it's a friendly match. And Kano Pillars is a continental team. We beat them in Kaduna 5-0, beat Plateau United, also a continental team, 2-1. So you can see we are ready for the league's 2020-21 season.
Right, they will be ready for next season. And what these guys actually saying this to them, like the kind of stringent conditions that LMC have set out for some of the clubs in the sports ministry and all that.
Cecilia.
And it's hard for most of the clubs to meet
Cecilia.
it. Maybe that's just the reason
You don't
we're
have to be
waiting for a
genius
date, you know,
to know that.
to say. But you can have a tentative. I mean, dates were flying around. And you know when that date
Yeah,
was
but
flying,
never
even with the
from-
times we were like, this is not from LMC.
Yeah, never
LMC
from
have
the
really not
LMC.
come out to say that this
Exactly.
is when we're starting. They had the projection between
Yeah.
November, December. That was the projection
Onwards,
they had
yeah.
onward. That was what
Yeah.
they said. So we're still in December. So we could still start the league maybe before Christmas or something. Never can tell. Because we're still within
but-
the time frame that they gave initially when they talk about starting the league.
Well, what do you know that perhaps a lot of people don't know in terms of the hold-up? What is preventing the league from starting?
I think
I mean-
it will be realistic. The conditions are good, very good, decent conditions. Make sure that there is money in the bank to pay all your players who are signed on. Ensure you have a youth team, a feeder team, so to speak, and then ensure all your players. These are very.
So these are the licensing
These are the,
conditions.
and then when you are doing a contract with any player, do a proper contract so that tomorrow the player will not say, or the club will say, we didn't sign any contract with you. Those were the conditions. And I think that...
Why so hard?
Almost-
You know,
almost
how
all
there's
to
the
meet.
home ground, the medical team and all that and everything. So those are also part of it.
The medical team also, I know those are stringent.
Medical
They must be.
department.
Oh,
You know,
stringent
you recall
about
that a player
having those basics in place.
unattended
of
to
course not.
in Katsina. Was it in Katsina? I think so. And then the other one was rescued because there was a medical team on ground. And so those were the basic, and these are things that are normal
So exactly, so why
in
you
professional
calling it
football.
stringent?
It's not. But in Nigeria, they are stringent. You know why they are stringent? Most of these clubs are run by state
Are
governments.
we saying that? Yes, that's the point.
Let me make the point. Most of these club sites are run by, apart from MFM and FC Fine, all others are run by state governments.
all right.
And then most of the state governments at the moment are insolvent. They can't even pay their civil service salaries. Bitter truth, to be told. And so the budget for football or for sports is not important to them. They are looking for money. Some of them are even saying they want to go and borrow from pension fund to pay salaries and other things. Are they going to pay to sponsor a football club? Those are the critical issues. So perhaps the LMC may be forced to relax those conditionalities, and then we'll go back to where we are coming from. Status quo ante.
We don't have to play football, make it professional or remove the professional out of it. But we need to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll be talking about some, nationwide clubs that are trying as much as possible to be busy while football is on break. All right, let's talk about the creative championships now. We talked about nationwide league teams are the ones that are actually hosting this. They're playing home and away, trying to be busy while waiting for, the authorities to actually tell them when they want to play football. And the games have been going on at Tayo.
Yes.
And, of course, we have some games taking place this weekend. Absolutely.
Match day 4, the games have been going on, like you said. And these guys are just trying to stay busy until they get... the go-ahead from the NFF and the organizer of football in the country to resume their league, especially worse for nationwide sides and NLL side, because they've been on break even before the whole pandemic happened. Anyways, match day 4 fixtures are coming. We're starting today. Imperial FC will take on Remo Stars on the 19th. On Saturday, it's going to be Valiant FC versus Emidio. On Sunday, there are 2 games, Bagada FC versus Igomu FC. And last but not the least is Dino versus Ijebu United. These 2 games will be played on Sunday. It's good to see this guy. This league is so important because that's the grassroots. That's
the takeoff point for Nigerian football. Now we import all our players from Europe to play for the national team. It was not like that. The big stars that their names still ring a bell till this, they were all found here. The Christian Chukwus of this world, Emmanuel Okala, JJ, Shegun Degbami, and on and on, Peter Rufai. Yeah. How many can you call?
On and on.
On and on. And so
because
I think that this is the basic. There was a debate on the platform I belong to, and people were like, there are no longer stars in the Nigerian league system. I say that is a fallacy. If you go out to watch football, you will see stars that are undiscovered. Because some of the coaches, especially at the national level, are lazy, or they are not being provided funds to go around looking at games, looking at games and saying, I have discovered this one. Can you come to camp?
We'll dedicate a time for that, because when football league is not going on, how would the coach actually see these players?
They are playing friendlies. Let them go and watch friendlies.
Friendlies, really? Yes. To come and play for, please. Super Eagles is not for testing waters.
No, we're not testing water. We have plenty of national teams. We have plenty of national.
Come inside.
No, Cecilia, we have plenty of national teams. Under 17, under 20, under this and under 23.
Flying Eagles, they pick academy boys. They are the ones that are playing now. Let's talk about Europa League right now. Of course, you have Arsenal had 100% record. Good one.
Fantastic.
18 points out of 6.
Gunners for life.
Gunners for life. Congratulations. Please transfer that to the league, and then it will be Gunners for life. Okay, let's look at selected results from the Europa League. Some teams, of course, all the big teams, we didn't have any upsets at all.
No,
you didn't have anyone. Except, the teams that, can they make it? No, they were not able to make it.
Arsenal
but then you have
won.
The usual one, the last 32, AC Milan, Ajax, Antwerp, Arsenal, Benfica, Braga, Club Rouge, Zada, you had Dinamo Zagreb, Dinamo Kyiv,
you really want to go
Granada, Hoffenheim, Krasnodar, Leicester City.
Really?
All of them. These are the teams.
The draw is on Monday.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. We know the seeded teams, of course. They are the big ones. So you have the AC Milan, the Ajax of this world, and the Arsenals of this world are the group winners. And, of course, they will be joined by the likes of Manchester United.
Shakhtar. And the guys dropping in from the UEFA Champions League. Quickly, before we look at the papers, let's talk about the big match in the Premier League this weekend. The Manchester Derby, 183rd Manchester Derby. Ben, quickly, what's your prediction for that game? Both sides on the back of contrasting results in Europe. City, comfortable win. United losing to Leipzig. What's going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I think it's going to be a very, tricky game, so to speak. And this club size have been managed by a very also creative and determined managers, So
Really?
so we expect a game that, and they have good players. Like you rightly said, these are teams or club size with contrasting, results.
Yeah.
You play well here today, you win. The next time you are not winning. And so what I think will happen, if I must take
The
a
match
stand,
is at Old Trafford, okay?
if I must take a stand,
Yeah.
I will predict a draw.
A draw.
Okay.
Wow, United City.
I know Man U fans will skin me, but that is my prediction.
Okay.
Because Man City is also very good.
They
away
won't-
game. And it's like a home game for them. They are both Manchester sides.
yes,
and
of
so,
course.
so it's going to be, it's like those days when we had, let me come back home, when we had New Nigeria Bank and Bendel Insurance. And anytime they are playing at the Obe Stadium,
Look on
anybody can win.
Form goes out of the window,
Nostalgia.
right?
Okay, other fixtures for this weekend. You have Wolves and Aston Villa, Newcastle and West Brom, Manchester United and Man City, and Everton and Chelsea are some of the games for
Then on
this
Sunday,
weekend.
games on Sundays
Sunday,
as well.
of course, you have other games coming up on Sunday. But then I'll just take 2 tweets, then we'll go to the papers. And Chimobi Victor said, congrats to Arsenal for winning all their games in Europa League. They need to take this form to the EPL. Why for Manchester Derby? It will end in a score draw. Yeah, Ben, it goes your way. And of course, AJK Eze says, I'm not a boxing fan, but the Nigerian in me wants AJ to win.
Of course.
He has no choice. Winning is what we do. Yes, that's what we do.
Interesting.
Okay, papers
Winning
right now.
against,
It will win.
That's what we
do.
It will win, but we
I'll
must pray
start
for
with-
him. Let's put
I'll start with Sporting Sun. And here, FIFA ranking, of course, very good static. Yeah, now 35th in the world. And Messi worships Ronaldo of Barcelona countries. Okay, that's a funny one. Zidane raises doubts over Real Madrid future. Yeah, he said he's no Alex Ferguson. He won't be the Alex Ferguson of Real Madrid. Maybe that's a doubt. They're talking about that.
We're never going to see the likes of Alex again. Staying at the club for donkey years. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen again.
So-
Clubs are no longer as patient as that in this days. Okay, this is Complete Sports is the last one from me. FIFA ranking, of course, crashed the lowest. It's still here. NFF working to avoid Super Eagles strike. Okay, where's this coming from? Alaba may become Chelsea's highest paid player if there's Lampard planning to keep Emerson at Chelsea. Okay, success is time to deliver at Watford. That's Isaac Success. Okay, is this still playing?
Which one would you want to react to quickly before we go to the last paper?
I think the one of the Super Eagles, the threat of strike, I think they are owing them since the qualifiers. They've not been paid, and the NFF said they are cash strapped, so to speak. But the NFF was also quick enough to own up that we are owing these players, and they've been very professional. So we are desperately looking for money. They said they are going to the sports ministry to say, look, these are professional footballers. Even though their clubs are paying them, we need to also fulfill our own part of the bargain.
Yeah.
And I think that soon and very soon they will avoid. Otherwise, the next stage of qualifiers, we will be disgraced again. So I think, anyhow, like Elijah Aminu Megiri used to do it, at times he used to go and borrow money just to ensure that players are settled, so that it will not be disgraced. Because
it's not
these
ideal.
players are
It's not
very.
ideal situation at all.
It's not.
We shouldn't be talking about players. This is 2020.
Sporting Life,
Yeah.
of course. The big news is Anthony Joshua's world title defense is going to earn £10 million, 10 million quid for Anthony Joshua, regardless of the result, the outcome of the fight.
You should not think of the money. You should think of the titles.
Eyes on the prize. Yeah, the belts. Arteta keeping tabs on Eric Garcia. Rashford rules out Manchester United exits. And this very interesting one, Maduka Okoye says hard work is paying off. This guy seems to be the #1 goalkeeper for the Super Eagles now.
Yes, Maduka gets me talking because he's been very vocal, and he said he wants to play in the English Premier League, and he wants to leave Rotterdam and become Nigeria's permanent #1 for as long as he keeps. So
good luck to him.
I wish him well. And the other thing I want to say before we go is I'm very happy for the Tigers. They are still Africa's #1, and they've moved a step up. in the ranking of the world. They're not number 22. Congrats.
Yeah, Ben, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Always a delight.
Appreciate your time, Ben.
All right, thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic weekend.
I am Tyre Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.